After all these years of greatness Canelo has brought us boxing fans, I finally think after this Terence Crawford fight, it is time for him to call it a career. But before we get into it, fight fans, make sure to hit the subscribe button to clock in, and let's get ready to talk about some boxing.
The one, the only, the notorious.
I find absolute no pleasure in saying this, but I think it's time for my Mexican king in Canelo Alvarez to call it a career. I feel as if we have seen a slow decline in his career ever since that Bivol loss that took his soul. I honestly feel like a piece of him, pause, was left in that ring that night. Where I honestly think that it's all started, again, like I just said, it was that Bivol fight. Because when Canelo first came into the 168-pound division and became undisputed, he fought people like Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, Caleb Plant. There was one more, but I'm blanking out. He honestly looked unstoppable. I feel like before the 168 move, he was very creative in his boxing. He showed a lot of, levels that he just doesn't show anymore. I feel like he got used to bullying people in that run at 168 because all he does now is load up on every single shot and throws the same combinations over. It's going to be the left hook to the body, the right overhand, or the left straight. Not really measuring anymore with his jab, like in the Bagel Cotto fight. He really did use his jab a lot. Boom! Banged over the top. Or that Amir Khan fight. Was patient, slipped, threw the overhand right. Yes, we just said that he was spamming it now, but before he threw it here and there, not really using it too much. And this is where I feel like Canelo's been a little bit too predictable. This is why Crawford was able to take advantage of him. But he kind of got used to his own hype train, right? Because people kept saying he was bullying these 168 pounders, and he's coming up. He was coming up away. And look at Callum Smith, man. Callum Smith is a perfect example of how he got used to bullying, man. Even though he couldn't knock him out, he absolutely destroyed his arms. I remember he gave him like a big bicep, like a well. That's a perfect example of bullying him. I think his last creative performance was against Billy Joe. When Billy Joe, he timed it perfectly. When he kept dipping to the right. He threw that uppercut, cracked his orbital bone. That was an absolute performance. I think that's his last good performance where he showed some creativity. But I feel like after that, the Caleb Plant is when we first saw him, bullying people, trying to bully people. And I'm gonna say a hot take later on. I'm gonna say it right now, but I'm gonna explain myself later. I feel like his power is overrated in the 168-pound division. But back to the topic. After the Bivol fight, for sure he lost some confidence because he thought he could just walk through everybody and he was made out of granite. This is a time where he started talking about Floyd Mayweather again. This is the time where he said he could have beat Alexander Usyk. He could have beat everybody. And I think that when he lost, it really lit a light bulb in his head that he could not win everybody, that he could just not bully everybody. And I think that really messed with his psyche because we saw it over and over again. Post Bivol fight, he took some easy fights. Edgar Berlanga, Jaime Munguia, John Ryder, William Skull. These are all fighters that are not very good. I don't want to sound like an asshole, but they're decent, and they're people that Canelo should have got highlights on. But he struggled to, get the job done. He did drop him. He did decisively win the fight. But there was nothing that said Canelo was going to get him out. I gave him the excuse, because I'm Mexican, as all we are, biased towards Canelo. I thought he was letting him off the hook. I thought he didn't want to hurt these people. But now looking at it, it looked like he just didn't have the power or the skill set to get him out anymore. Like, I kept talking about it to my buddies. During these fights, he just looked like he regressed. Like, he had trouble getting easy opponents out of there. Example would be that John Ryder fight. That John Ryder fight, he dropped him, I think, 2 or 1 time. But he should have got him out of there. And in the later rounds, like in the 10, 11, 12, he looked gassed. You could debatably give that to Ryder. And Ryder got finished in his next fight. And also Jaime Munguia got finished in his next fight. Edgar Berlanga got finished in his next fight. After fighting Canelo, Canelo had this monster power and he could get anybody out of there. He was unable to get these people out of there. Then they got put out by people that were no names. During the Terence Crawford fight, I saw a lack of creativity from his coaches, from the fighter. His coach might be overrated. His coach might look good because he has Canelo. Maybe Ryan Garcia was saying that he's not that good of a coach. Maybe there's some truth to that now. We can break that down in a later video. But I just saw him spamming the left hook, the right to the body, the right over top, head hunting a lot, loading up on every shot, becoming predictable. And his speed was absolutely terrible in that fight. A guy who came up 2 weight classes was faster than Canelo. Someone who's already adjusted to that weight class, which is absolutely mind-boggling. But, you know, I also want to make an excuse for him. He's always had these type of weaknesses to these fighters, right? Floyd Mayweather, Bivol, now Terence Crawford. All fighters who could move laterally and trade with them at the same time and be defensively safe. Those are people he's always had problems with. He's never been able to get them out of there. The biggest takeaway was, in this fight leading up to it, people said, can Terence Crawford handle Canelo's power? I think Canelo's power is overrated. This is why Terence Crawford said in a later interview that he's been hit harder by fighters in the lighter weight division, because I truly feel that Canelo's power is not good at 168. That his power is better at a lower weight division. It is the best kept secret in boxing that Canelo hits weak, because I don't think he hits the best at 168. I truly don't believe it. I truly believe, who has he knocked out really at 168? Caleb Plant, right? That was a good knockout, right? Decent, he didn't get up. 2, Billy Joe. But it's time for us to stop playing lying that Billy Joe didn't duck into the punch and ran into the uppercut. I feel like what really showed in the fight was his slow head movement. Canelo always has been known for his head movement. He was getting caught on the way out more than he has in any fight in this one. So he looked really sluggish in this one. I think it's time for him to finish, man. This one doesn't look too bad on his record. You know, he is a 35. Yes, Crawford is 37. But Canelo fights twice a year. The Mexican fighting style doesn't attribute to aging that well, compared to Crawford fighting once a year and having a more defensive, you know, minded style. And I feel bad for Canelo, because every loss before this had an excuse. Bivol, too heavy weight class. Canelo was too young. But this one is just, you got outboxed, man. This man was better than you in every way. He's lighter than you. He outboxed you. I think I could have gave the fight 9-3, 10-2, depending on like how I feel that day and how I need to watch back the fight and think, you know, how many rounds did Canelo win. But 15-13, I think what 2 judges gave it, which is utterly shocking. I don't think it was even close to that. That means Canelo won a round. It would have been almost a tie. I just don't think there's anything else for him to prove. So he should hang it up, man. I think that if they were to rematch again, Canelo might get dog walked even worse. Canelo might get put out this time, and I'm not even joking. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Am I absolutely insane for saying Canelo is going to get dog walked if they rematch, or Canelo should retire? Personally, I think both of those statements are true, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. With that being said, guys, make sure to uppercut the like button, subscribe, hit that notification button to never miss a video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.